Morning all. Okay, it's 11:30, nearly. It's Chess 24 Banter Blitz with Kingscrusher. Let me just show you, to start off with, if you want to join these streams, to challenge any streamer, not just me, you can use this. Morning all. Okay, so you can use this discount code of Kingscrusher and get 15% off. So that Kings is plural, by the way. So, and then basically what you do, you turn up ideally 20 to 30 minutes before any streamer and just send them a challenge. And basically we get a list of challenges stored in advance. So it's a great way of playing really, really strong players all the time. And I think each of us have their own discount code as well. So this is the voucher code to use. So anyway, let's go to the challenge screen and pick out first come first serve for me generally. Okay, the commutator. Ooh, it's a bit loud. By the way, I don't know if you'll notice something, but the pops pop have been. I've got this thing called a windshield on the microphone. For those interested in audio, especially. So let me know if you notice any difference with the pops or the wind. If I blow on the microphone, I don't know. It will probably be less blowy than before. So yeah, I'm using this windshield for the very first stream of Chess 24. So let me know what you think. It's not a pop filter. It's a called a windshield. It's basically a little bit of foam stuck on the microphone head. So let me know about that. So anyway, what am I doing here? Knight g e2. I could play for d5 and knight d4. d5. That gives me that d full square, which means I can move my bishop, which means I can castle. I'll do this. Well, I'm giving him a potentially deadly c-file later. That Sicilian sort of defense flavor, that c-file, semi-open c-file. Okay, so knight d4. I think I just want to castle. So bishop e2 and castle. I think something to look forward to. Ooh, that c4 square seems sensitive. Yeah, do I risk it? I think I might allow knight to. I'm going to snap that off. But he is getting my light square bishop. Oh, really? That looks like with aggressive intent. Not aiming to castle rapidly. Okay. How do I punish that? A4, there might be B4. If I just build up on the center, there might be E5 later with greater effect. I think I'll just do this, leave this rook in its default position, because maybe F4, F5 later. So I'm going to use this rook, I think, the A rook rather than the F rook. That could be useful later. I'll use the A rook. Okay, so I'm awaiting knight c4. Is that going to be played here? No. Okay, now h3 could be a pain. h3, if I play it, weakens my dark squares, but I think overall, I think I do want to play h3 rather than allow h3. Something about this h-pawn stuff. Oh yeah, there's a lot of pressure on e4 as well. Okay, the knight can swing in. Let's play this bishop g5 though, as though challenging the h4 pawn. So there's, if knight h5, maybe I just take this off. I'll be shielded by that knight if I take that off there. I don't want the knight coming into h5 sometimes. I'm a bit worried about weakening d4 as well, though. That's the kind of weakness of the last move to factor in. But this diagonal isn't readily exploitable at the moment. So knight h5, I think I've almost ruled it out. If I just take on h4 here. King h1. He's kind of ruled out f4 really. There's a lot of pressure on e4. Okay, I'm taking that one. And now I think he's being immediately, if he takes the rook, it's immediately threatening knight takes e4, hitting my knight. My knight's a potential tactical liability here on d4 now, I think, after rook takes. So let's just move that out of the way, harm's way. That secures my c3 knight a little bit as well. e5 I think is on the cards now as well. I've just unveiled the possibility of e5. So if he castles, I might take this. If he plays knight h5, I might take that. If he doesn't castle, I might play e5, because d takes, I'm taking his queen. e5 looks... oh, okay. If I move my king here, I think h2 might be... I don't know if that's safer on the dark squares. What about king h1? King h1. I think I'm still threatening... Am I? e5? He's got that covered already. I could take on f6, play a check. Oh, is that mating? Maybe it is with queen. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Oh, I need to work that out. This possibility of... okay, there's going to be pressure on b2 now. But he's leaving e5 in the air here. On queen takes, there's e5 in the air. This looks very dangerous for queen d8 checkmate, because that weakness of the last move. He's not covering d8. The car park analogy, the car has left, someone's walking to their car and left this space behind, d8. Okay, so e5 does seem strong in regard to d8. So d takes queen d8. I mean, that was the whole point of this battery, was to try and do something with that d file. Now, taking on h4 is not possible, because that rook's holding h4. Taking on d6 seems more useful. Taking on d6 here, I think, yeah. Take on d6. King's still in the center. d7 check, king d8, bishop, he's got queen e7. Just looking at that for a moment. Okay, I think I should take that. Is there the possibility of a rook sack or bishop f3? Interesting. d7 here, unfortunately, is not working because of king d8. And he's protecting e7. Just looking at, for a moment, what is the issue? Rook h4, rook h3, trying to mate me or something. d7 seems very tempting. D takes even more so, I'll be threatening queen d8. D takes looks even stronger. It stops the king moving. It threatens queen d8 and queen d7. I think this is decisive. But let's have a look at this forcing sequence. Rook h3, g takes. I can't see it. I'm going to do this. Car park tactic. I've often said, sorry, I didn't see that one. Oh, that's tricky. I got work to do here. Okay, and let's move the queen out of the way. Oh, I didn't see that. Is rook h3 on the cards? Rook takes, bishop takes, rook d8, rook d1. Am I threatening just to take? I think should I take? Maybe I should take. I'll take. It's not yet. This is not clarified. Any f4, there's rook h3. With that nasty pin on g2, I can't play f4 because of rook h3. I can play queen d2 here. I think I'll play queen d2 because that simultaneously protects and attacks the d file bit. So rook d1. I'm just looking out for rook h3 though, or bishop f3. Takes g2 takes. Okay, bishop c3. Is that dangerous? Rook h3. Okay, this is all a bit dangerous, but I'm hoping rook d1 will be pliable. If I played f4, then there would be rook takes h3 check, because that pawn would be immobilized. Right, rook d1 here. What has he done rook d1 here? Right. Oh. Didn't see that. Whoops. That's not nice. Okay. Rook d2. How's rook d8? Saved by... No, I just underestimated that. I thought I was factoring things in. I clearly wasn't. Let's have a look. Oh dear, that's tight position. Let's have a look at this. Black has mate in 3. I thought it was a little bit dangerous. It's a mate in 4. Check. He took rook d2, fatal. Right, f6, f6. So what should I have played? This does seem as though there was a lot of venom here. I was trying not to move the f pawn. Queen d2. Apparently white was okay here. Queen d6. That's a mistake. So I've not guarded f3 here. So I've actually made this a lot more effective. I wanted to get into d8 and hit the bishop. So that tempting move fails, it seems, to rook h3. Brilliant play, commutator. Brilliant. You nearly had me. So what should I play here? Bishop e3, I wonder. I've got to hold f3 as well as h3. Fantastic. So this would be okay for me, it seems. It seems white's a bit better there. But yeah, what I played was actually... yeah. This is good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, wow. Okay. I nearly got knocked out there in the first round, okay, of play. Kramnik student. Okay, Kramnik student. I'll try this g6. Don't want to make it a king's engine particularly. I'll play this. No, I think I'm going to sharpen things up with this gambit here. I think I might have played like this before. Intuitively, I feel black's going to get significant counterplay from this sort of position. I'm forcing him to castle kingside, not queenside. If he castles queenside, I'd welcome it. We've got a sort of Benko gambit. I think I'm welcoming overall this position. In fact, knight c4, put that in the air. My rook's loose here. Okay, put some pressure down here. Rook b3 coming up. Rook b8, rook b3. c4 might also be handy at some point. I don't like losing the dark square bishop that much though. Alright, takes in, rook takes b3 is in the air now. It's a logical consequence of this battery here. Pins the knight, say he castles. So knight d3 takes, rook takes, say he castles. I think I can just take it from there. I don't think there's anything much stronger. Rook b3 immediately. I think it takes on e5 and he doubles my pawn. So let's get the pawn back. It's a nasty looking pin. Okay, how? Oh, rook a3. Whoa. Rook a3. Bit of torture for a moment. Rook a to a3 rather, not rook b to a3. So putting torture on that pin. I was giving up the exchange. Things that bad. I thought he might have defended. No, he's not giving up the exchange. Sorry, it's just a normal rook transaction. Why do I think he's giving up the exchange? In fact, I'm a pawn down. Hold on, I'm a pawn down. I'm misevaluating this. Okay, maybe I've got enough to cause a problem, basically. C4 here looks dangerous for queen a7 check. If he takes queen a7 check, and then rook takes f1 almost. So queen c4, the check. Is there a tactic there? Queen d4. If he took, then there's rook f1, and there's queen g1 after that. Still, it looks as though c4's tempting. Let's have a look at this again. He takes, check, king h1. Now queen d4 doesn't work. No, I'll just take the rook on f. Let's have a look at that again. C4. If he takes, take the knight. Check, king h1. Let's do it. Let's just do it and see what happens. It's only a pawn. It's not the end of the world. Check, king h1. It looks as though there's almost an overload. Almost. But queen d4 would fell because of takes and then queen g1 later. If I can move this knight g3 check could be useful. So check, king h1. What about rook a2 there, the idea of queen f2. So if he took, then there's rook a1. Potentially making, no, he's got f1 covered still. He's always having f1 covered. This is a bit of, it's just activity pawn sack. It's not actually winning or anything. It's just an activity pawn sack. So check, king h1. Is there nothing there? Knight g4, threatening knight f2 check. If he takes, all right, he's, I don't know, a bit panicky there. So he's letting me off with that move. So I can play. Right, there's knight b6 on the cards. Rook a2, rook a3, threatening queen a4. Knight b6. I think rook a3 is interesting. Knight b6, another pin here. Queen a7. So I'm threatening queen takes a4. Queen takes a4. Looks okay, queen takes a4. b3, a5, c3, a6, c2. Yeah. It's too fast to check and taking the rook. It's too fast. Alright, thanks for the game, Kramnik student. We could analyse that for a moment, because that was intricate. I think it was more of a bluff, to be honest. I don't think it really did that much. Let's have a look at this for a moment. Equal, so takes, check. Here, I was looking at, this doesn't work because I'm trying to deflect the queen away from f1, but he just takes it. This is actually the variation I was mentioning. White's just much better there. So I don't think there's an overload here. It says equal though. I think there's a certain amount of uncomfort here for white, but maybe that pawn is, I don't know, with absolute best played, I think white would have an advantage. but I think it's okay. The queen's kind of infiltrated here. I think it was just equal. Okay. All right. Cobra. Let's play English opening. So Cobra's voluntarily locking his c8 bishop here, and all I see is a gigantic e5 square in this position to sort of spearhead an attack later. In fact, now, if I accepted the double pawns and f4, the knight could swing in later to c5. If I don't use it now, he can contest the e5 square. And it's a bit wrecking my pawn structure, though. There's a politer way of playing the position, which is just to celebrate c5 and e5. I can simply aim to swap off the dark square bishop and celebrate c5 and e5, instead of accepting the double pawns as a sort of way of attacking. So there's another way of skinning the cat here, or stuffing the cat. That's my preferred expression, stuffing the cat. There's a different way. Okay, if you like cats, stuffing the cat. Okay. Okay, so knight e5. Okay, in fact, is let me get this knight e5. So if you really like cats, you might want your cat stuffed. Okay, okay, forget that. Anyway, let's get back to the chess. Okay, knight e5. I should try and stop using that expression. Okay, so knight e5, e3 coming up. Okay, I think this is spearheading attack. I'm still controlling the c5 square. If you look at that other variation, I wasn't controlling c5. So let's blast through with e4. I think I'm having my cake and eating it here without this knight c5 now. So I've got queen h5. A rook can lift to the third rank here. It looks as though the h7 soft spot is softer than usual. Ah, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. Oh dear. Okay, okay. I was going to go in with queen h5. Okay, what about a4, rook a3 to kick this queen with rook h3? So I've shielded the knight as well. The knight's protected as well. I want to play rook a3 to h3. The third rank is clear here, like in, what's that opening with the third rank's clear? There's Budapest Gambit. There's an amazing line in the Budapest Gambit which justifies the Budapest Gambit. You clear the third rank for a rook lift, a bit like this. Budapest Gambit style. I'm going to prompt h6 soon. So queen moves h6 prompted. Immediate weakness. Rook g3, confronting queen h6, king h7, and this g-file, I subtly use the g-file with king h1. Rook g1, you could take on f4. I've got to arrange f4 not to drop. If f5 takes knight d6, hitting d5, that's interesting as well. f5 is interesting because of uprooting the d5 knight on knight d6. I think I might be tempted with that, because at the moment, if I try and shuffle with king h1, rook g1, there's always this annoying knight f4. If I challenge that knight now and then try and use the g-file, I think I'll do that instead. So e takes knight d6, hitting the knight. The knight's quite nice on d6 for a moment, although it could be a tactical liability, of course, at some point. So e takes knight d6, hitting the knight. Get this knight to move, then I can play king h1 and rook g1. Get on with business on the g-file without knight f4. So I'm hitting the knight, say bishop e6, king h1, then rook g1, and then all sorts of nasties. Well, not involving bishop d5 is check, but bishop f3, then all sorts of nasties like queen takes h6. Just want to get this g-file working. Okay, so, let's prepare the ground. Bishop f3, rook g1. If I want my pawn back, maybe knight f5, but I don't want the pawn back. I just want to play bishop f3 and rook g1. Oh, there's queen g5 here. Oh, crikey. Maybe I'll just get my pawn back. No, I don't want my pawn back. I want an attack. Let's keep the queens on. I think knight f4 there. There's queen e3 and there's knight takes. Okay. Oh, this is a pain. Okay, queen f3 then. Is that possible without any rude knight move? Kick the... Oh, there's queen... Oh, hang on. Rook g3 then. Not rook h5. There's queen g4. Rook g3. Am I ever going to get this g-file working? Rook g3? He's not going to permit rook g3, is he? He's going to play something annoying again, like queen g4. And there's queen f2 there. I can still play rook g3 later. Oh, maybe there's f4. Okay, things get a bit nasty. It plays f4 immediately. And there's rook h5 here. I get to kick the queen and save my rook. Oh, there's queen g4. No, there isn't. Yes, there is. There's queen g4. Alright, stop bishop g4 for a moment. And there's queen g3 if he wants it. Let's just take this for a moment to not activate the rook and then try and get time. Now, bishop f1. So bishop f1. Does he play queen g3 now? If he plays queen g3 now, that would be a pain. If he doesn't play queen g3 now, then I get my g-file finally. I've got my pin now installed, pin on g7 pawn. Okay. Now I can maybe go knight e4 to go into f6 potentially. Alright. And there's knight g5 potentially. Yeah, knight g5, then there's queen d5. Knight g5 here. Queen d5. It's either going to be a relative pin or an absolute pin. Relative on the queen, absolute on the king. I'll take queen d5. Queen c5 looks annoying because it's gazing the f8 rook, which could be very tactically handy. I can take on. I can move the knight now. Take on f4 now. I'll take this bishop now. Alright, thanks for the game, Cobra. Interesting game there. Azur missed. Okay, so Azur missed. Let's play b3. I've had great results with b3 recently. I think it might... I like the opponents to improvise in the openings. And also I like having an informational advantage, because that can be a great guarantee of reaching a dynamic, interesting position. So let's see, e3 and f4. You see, it's improvisation. I think there's some confusion playing systems like this. I think even Fischer, though, he used b3 with great effect in some games. There were some really crystal clear b3 Fischer games to check out, where he has this dark square strategy, very logical dark square strategy, dark square grip. I think I could keep the bishop pointed at the king, although there's knight b4. Let's have this weird looking bishop d3 without knight b4. Okay. The thing is about this possession, what I find amusingly simple and straightforward here is the idea that you can just play queen e1 I guess this is something from the Dutch defence in reverse. The idea that in the Dutch defence you play queen e8 to h5. Here you can play queen e1 for an attack. No, that's annoying though. Right, okay. That's annoying. I have to get ready for bishop f6. Okay, let's backpedal. Because I want to play knight e5 and d3. Backpedaling here. Alright, let's kick this for a moment. Then knight d2, queen e1, queen g3. But there's also... I was surprised bishop f6 wasn't played. Bishop f6 can still be played here. Actually. Right, bishop f6, knight e5. Okay, now I get this Dutch defense plan, but there's knight g4. That's going to be annoying. Knight e5 then, knight e5. Then knight d2, then queen e1, then queen g3. Knight d2, queen e1, queen g3 looks okay. Just to get the queen eyeing g7. So queen e1, it also eyes e5 as well. Queen c7 evicts my knight, or asks me to play d4 basically. It's giving me time for queen g3 here now. Queen g3 is eyeing g7, supporting e5. Let's put a pawn there for a moment. This bishop's blocked in at the moment. Queen g3, finally, queen g3. I can double the rooks here and play e4. I think that is attractive in some respect, just to double the rooks and play e4. Bishop h5 seems like a tickly sort of move to provoke g6 as well. Knight f3 also seems a dangerous move to go into g5. Rook f5 also seems dangerous behind the scenes, opening up this diagonal tactically against g7. Something to bear in mind. Also rook f4 to h4 looks a little bit dangerous. What's the most dangerous and effective out of all of this? Knight f3, knight g5, weakening that diagonal, okay. I think a knight coming to g5 can be reinforced with rook f4 to h4. If this was protected, if he gives up that dark square bishop, and, will he do that? Here, I get a clamp on these two key squares, surely, which will be useful. Knight h3 here. Although h4 is a bit vulnerable looking. Is he actually pushing through with g5? If this was protected, then there's going to be rook f5 here soon. I'll protect this in advance for a possibility of rook f5 and e6 pinning or using that diagonal. So that makes that a protected piece. Knight f4 hits e6 as well as g6 here, and that was a weakness of the last move. Basically, e6 and g6. Yeah, the parking space metaphor, guys. What I mentioned before. Okay, there's knight g6 is a pin, self-pin for me. Queen g6 is less controversial, maybe, without the pin. Although I can potentially play bishop h5 after. If king h7, that's check. If king g8, I think maybe this is good anyway. I just play h5. h5. Okay, there's bishop g5. I think h5. Let's have a look at this now. Right, I think I want him to give up the dark square bishop. I have a funny feeling this is a good idea, because he's already weak on dark squares, so it's sort of amplifying the dark squares a bit more. And it's one less protector around the king. Also, I think Queen h4, Rook f3 to g3 is going to be very, very nifty. Queen h4, Rook f3 to g3 looks very strong. There's also g4 to consider. Right, blunts that bishop. Right, let's challenge over there then. Oh, that was a mouse step or something. Alright, thanks to the game, Azumist. Yeah, it's very tricky to play again. Oh, I can't accept from non-premium members, by the way. I'll have to decline that from a non-premium member. Let's just check any other non-premium member channel. Okay, Maddle. Hi, Maddle. Oh, e4. Why have I played e4? It's not as fun sometimes. Okay, I could play b3 now. I've forgotten what this is called. This is called something. Don't know. Okay, that kind of potentially weakens light squares. That kind of move. Because he's got one pawn statistically on a dark square. If he has an other, then the light squares are lit up. Okay. You don't want to be lit up like in Suits. Lit up. Knight b5. There's knight f3 to take here. But he's going to lose c7. What's wrong with knight b5 here? In particular, knight b5. Then I take it then knight f3. This seems artificial. This seems improvisation gone wrong. This is the thing. If you can get your opponents improvising in openings, it's like the difficulty level just drops dramatically. Especially if you're a really lazy chess enthusiast that just wants to improve your middle game and end game, then you have to sort of bypass openings, or at least try and get. If ideally you just want to play on your strengths, then you get the opponent improvising with weird stuff. As long as it's not like totally like losing. So it seems this improvisation has gone wrong. I shouldn't have this position. Pawn up. Should I? Okay, so I'm just going to castle and d4. d4 hits the centre hard. e4, knight e5. Knight e5 coming up. This looks strong. To have a knight there reinforced by the bishop. Okay. Now f4 maybe. Okay, f4 now. If he doesn't take en passant, that knight's really quite nice. Maybe c4. Okay, takes. Gives me an f file. I've weakened this diagonal, so maybe king h1 seems more logical now, because I've weakened that diagonal. King h1, queen e1 to g3. Maybe c4 was useful there to stop the use of d5. On the other hand, okay, yeah, maybe it was. Okay. Let's see. So I've got this extra pawn, although it might not be that significant at the moment. c4, takes. What do I end up with? I'm going to get to play queen g3 at the end of this. And I'll be pointing at g7 again. if he wants to give up the dark square bishop. So c4, and then I can move the rook actually, rook e1. c4, rook e1. I think here is possible at the moment. So he can take, knight d7. Is he winning his pawn back? Why does he let him win his pawn back? That's interesting. Or is there going to be a pin against g7? There's knight f7 here. If rook e7, there's knight h6 check. Oh no, hang on, the knight's holding f8. I thought there might be knight h6 check. Does it work or not? Knight f7. It's self-pins, usually a good idea. Alright, if I just move this knight instead, that would be the saner thing to do. Knight g4 actually protects h2. And there might be a possibility of d5 and knight h6 check for queen g4, which I've seen that tactical idea in an Adams game recently at Gibraltar. So knight g4, d5, knight h6 check takes queen g4 mating, potentially. So I think with that in mind, d5, knight h6, queen g4, d5, knight h6 check takes queen g4. That pattern I've seen recently. Anytime I play d5, there's knight e5 though. How can I be a bit sneakier about that? And it's not happening. It's not happening here. Okay, well, that does knight e3 for the moment. Bishop h2, knight d5, there's queen g3. Maybe he's wanting the pawn back. Okay, give him the pawn back. Unless I can do something, knight f5, g6, knight h6. Knight f5 might be possible. This idea of knight h6 or playing d5 later looks dangerous. Bishop h2, knight takes f5, g6, knight h6 check, king g7, d5 check, king h6. Okay, it carries on. Okay, I'll need to calculate that. Bishop h2 here, queen e6 check, king moves, rook f5. Is there enough time for queen g3 or something? I wouldn't have thought so. The back row's compromised there. I'm going to play the check here. c5. Bishop hasn't got too many squares. And bishop e5 here. I'm going to chase this queen around. I don't want to get back row mated. Alright, thanks, Madly. Yeah, interesting game. Kasparov student. Okay. Kasparov student. Let's play b3 again. Bit of fun. Okay. Is Kasparov student around? Okay, I might have to abort this. Oh, just in time. I was about to abort it. I play d4 here. I'm trying to grab this f4 square, so if e4, I grab that f4 square. I think I'd arrange it with h4, knight h3. It's that kind of reverse French defense strategy. I've got an e5 hook, which is amplified with d5, that e5 hook. Doesn't have to play d5, but it seems a bit weird leaving that pawn on f5 here. Can I force a weakness already with g6? Take the opportunity rather than castling. Try and provoke an extra weakness, which could be fatal there. So g6 could be fatal there. I could castle queenside. H4, h5, we've got a sort of attacking game here. I'll clamp down on the queenside. Stop the rook activating. Clamping down on the b5 square. H4, h5. Knight g5 might be a bit of fun here to be had with knight g5. Doesn't really want to lose the light square bishop, surely. Oh, there looks to be a nasty pin actually from a bishop d7. There looks to be rook e1. Sort of nasty looking pin. I'll have that pin for a moment. H5, there's knight. Okay, let's imagine knight h5. I can protect my f2 here and g5. No, you can't move that yet. Oh, it's check. Can. It's check. Maybe king b1 would be handy to make that more of a pin against the bishop. c4 is always knight b4. So I think I'm more interested in trying to destroy this pawn chain with h5. Trying to undermine this pawn chain and activate the rook for free with h5. h5. Okay, there's knight e6. I'll use that. Now I'm threatening knight c7. Okay. Light squares have been compromised. Actually, this battery seems tempting. And this d5 is better. d5, I can open up this diagonal. Maybe d5. That was knight e5. Bishop c4 is also looking interesting. Bishop c4. Yeah, there's a double bonus on this diagonal, the queen and king. I can't see an answer to bishop c4. That's intriguing. That there will be no answer here to bishop c4. I just can't see an answer to it. If rook d8, rook takes d6. I just don't understand why. It's annoying that there's no answer in a way, because I wanted to use the bishop to blast through f5. It's like okay, it's a divergent plan. Bishop c4, it's just a tactical move. Bishop c4, I just can't see. Okay, I'm playing it. He has given up the light square bishop. I think that's what makes the light squares more celebratory here. He's given up that light square bishop. This is without a counterpart. Just rook takes e7 check. That's a double whammy on the queen and king, isn't it? That's why I thought there wasn't much of an answer. I mean, to bishop c4. Let's open up this diagonal now. Try and open up this diagonal. Right, so C4 check. Let's create the battery here. Queen C3. Which will tie down the rook. Yeah, I'll tie down the rook. H5. Trying to weaken this diagonal now. There's almost bishop f5 because if rook f5 there's queen h8 checkmate. So almost if there wasn't that knight there, bishop f5 would be on the cards. So in other words, well, hg here is looking dangerous. I'll take out this knight, I think. Play this check now. Now I'm taking out that knight. It's one of the best pieces. Right, thanks for the game, Sparrow student. Okay, yeah, losing the light square bishop, I think, yeah, is a bit risky. So, Galami Fi. Hi. 5 seconds. 1 elephant, 2 elephants, 3 elephants, 4 elephants, 5 elephants. Okay, next game. Please change me later if you want. Okay, graph. Hi, let's play b3 again. I think it teaches about color complexes, b3, because it's okay. Now here black is parrying the dark squares by not putting pawns on light squares. So I'm playing more modestly now. I'm not going to play bishop d3 here. It doesn't seem that tempting. But there's still this Dutch defense maneuver. Let's clamp down b5 as well. Queen e1 to h4. At least I'll be activating the rook. Any b5. Does he play b6? Queen h4. Ah. Okay. Now. f-file. F-file pressure. Alright, I'm going to take care of d2 here. I don't want to be dismantled from d2, particularly. Okay, so d3 man, d3 for e4. He's got this check. I don't think it does anything immediately. Rook f6 here. There's bishop e2. Right, I'll play e4 now, I think. I can double my rooks on the f-file. There's one plan. I was going to kick this knight. Maybe knight a4 is not bad, hitting c5. And also e5, knight d7. Alright, I can take here winning a pawn, it seems. hitting the queen. That's divergent, just tactical move. I wasn't planning this at all before. I was just thinking b4. Okay, that's not a check. So knight takes b5. There's no knight g4 or knight e4. I think I'll just take another pawn. Stop knight g4. Prepare to double rooks, then unpin with king h2. Some pressure down on f6 and f7. Maybe king h2 is preferred to start off with. King h2 instead of rook f1. Just to unpin. King h2. Hang on, there's knight e4. King h2, knight takes e4, distracting the queen away from f2. That's kind of weakness of the last move. It weakens f2. Yeah, knight e4 pounces. This is what I mean about the car park metaphor. Sometimes, instead of driving around aimlessly for hours around a locked car park, you wait for the just the weakness of the last move where someone is going to their car. So king h2 weakens f2, and then you arrive potentially at the conclusion knight takes e4 might be a useful tactic, because you look at what's the opportunity just being made readily available. So anyway, I'm unpinning now, knowing that knight e4 is not happening. So I want to double the rooks. And then bishop a3 is strong, isn't it? Because of rook f7. Bishop a3 looks strong. Doubling the rooks hits f7. Bishop a3 amplifies f7 pressure. So bishop a3 coming up. Right, what's the issue with bishop a3? Alright, here's protecting f7. I still play bishop a3. The rook moves, I play h4. Yeah. f7 should drop. So rook e8, h4, knight e6, rook f7. Let's imagine knight f4 interrupting the rooks. Maybe just rook takes g7 is enough. Takes, there's enough compensation. That diagonal seems exceptionally weak. Or is it? I mean, he's just offering the exchange here. Okay, I'll take that. Right, knight f4 is a pain. What about g3 and then maybe h4? h4. Okay, what about getting a knight to d5? h4 comes at some cost, surely. If he plays h4 there, I can take knight f4. No. Yeah, knight f4, no. Okay, I think I just want my knight coming to d5. It'll parry the knight f4 actually. Queen f3, knight d5. I have to put up with that knight for a moment, for a little moment. So queen f3 and then knight d5 after. Would challenge that knight. If I took, it opens up this diagonal. G takes, well, knight d5 is coming, surely. So hitting the queen, hitting the knight on f4. Queen c6 is knight e7 check. Queen c5. Let's say queen c5. Right, knight takes here looks good. I've got check here. Then I can take the rook. I can simply get the queens off. Queen d5. I've got enough pawns, surely. As well as being the exchange up. So queen, the bishop might be handy, but I think queen d5 is okay. That ending. Rook takes f4, queen d5. Takes. This looks too good. This ending. Okay. Queen d5. Unpinning the knight. Right, there is knight e6 here. That's not even a discovered check. So hitting the queen, I think rook f5 is happening. Alright, thanks for the game, Graph, who has taken points from me before, so can be a very dangerous opponent. So, Jan Torrents, let's play knight c6, I think. It's a pre-move or not. Now let's see what happens. What is white's first move? Okay, knight c6. Do I play this? I think this is a move. Or the check. Magnus Carlsen's played the check actually, I've seen, and then put the bishop back there just to get white to use the c3 square. Okay, this is different. Okay, so knight f6 and then castles. If I play knight f6, then can I castle? Something about this position. Black has an ability to play d5, which seems good here, even here. It seems an active position. I can pin that. I will. Pieces seem okay. Happy enough. Pin this guy that way as well. 2 pins. Better than 1. Queen h5, 2 pins. Knight e5 after. Battery against. Yeah, Queen h5 seems dangerous. Knight c6. Queen c6. White ends up with damaged pawn structure. Surely. If nothing else. Queen h5 here. I can accept double pawns. I think there's a lot of pressure there. Probably taking is a good idea. And there's knight d4 hitting the queen. Bishop h3 is interesting. Knight d4 is sort of interesting. Knight e5 loses a piece probably. This is interesting because I know there's a rook left potentially. Knight g5 there, queen g4. Have I disconnected? Oh no. Hi, sorry, 10-minute extension. I think there's going to be a 10-minute extension because of that. It seems about 10 minutes. I'm going to try and do a rematch if he wants. So it was a 5-minute game. I'll play black. Sorry, I thought I was lucky it didn't happen in the last few weekends. I think it might have something to do with not sleeping my fire stick downstairs. I think it might, I don't know, I have funny feelings to do with the fire stick downstairs. Oh, we got 2 windows or something. Oh no, there's a window over there, right? Okay, and that's muted over there now. Okay. Yeah, I think I got to check the Fire Stick's sleep status. If you ever get an Amazon Fire Stick, I have the suspicion maybe it's pulled something and it lost my connection. I don't know exactly. But I'll extend this thing by 10 minutes to sort of. I don't want to compromise the length of the session because of that. Sorry. Okay, we're getting a similar position to explore. Alright, okay. A little theoretical debate about this position then. Yeah, the last few weekends I thought it was okay. It was behaving. Alright, okay, I didn't know we were going to play. We didn't have to play identical, by the way. You don't have to play identical. Let's explore. I was going to do this fantasy bishop sack here, because I think there's a potential rook left. So how would this have worked out? The mystery unveiled, the cliffhanger from the previous episode. Is there enough for black to do this with rook d6 in mind? Probably not. Okay, that looks like a good refutation. Yeah, that looks as though my queen is coming off. That's a shame. Yeah, no, I didn't see that. Okay, so I'm just a piece down. I'm about to lose twice now to my opponent. Okay, anyway, no, I'll see what I can do here. Of course, I'm going to try and put up a fight. It's for 2 pawns. It's not entirely like cut and dry. But no, I wouldn't do that sack again. That's not a good start, that sack. Start position. So what can I do here? Try and get these pawns going. A6 with the idea of c5 and knight f5 looks like something to do to avoid knight b5. So knight f5. There's rook d7, knight f5. Okay, I can lose another pawn. There's rook c6. Maybe rook c6. That was knight e5. Doesn't look very healthy. Okay. Yeah, rook c6, knight e5 doesn't look very healthy. Any improvements on that? I don't think there's any improvement on that. Yeah, I seem to be losing my pawns now. My only compensation was having some extra pawns. I am still connected, right? Alright, that was a bit of a surprise. Okay. Okay. G5, the check. Is that dangerous? Let's activate this rook. Or king g7, maybe king g7. Hang on. Why are we equal on material? Did he just give back a piece? Sorry, let me just rewind that. I was a bit asleep there. Why did he just give back? Alright, he just gave back a piece. Okay, that was very generous. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, let's see. I can protect... F7's already protected. Rook f5 here looks like an idea. I can play a5 and stuff. I can get behind this pawn. If I have the Tarrasch rule invoked, I can get behind this potentially dangerous passed pawn. So rook e5 to get behind the pawn. The pawn seems dangerous. It does seem dangerous. I think I've got to get a double Tarrasch rule with a cherry on top with rook d8, rook b8, rook d8, rook d4, double Tarrasch rule. 2 rooks behind the dangerous passed pawn. Also, hang on, I should have considered king f6. No, that will come into consideration. So the Tarrasch rule is a great article on Wiki about Tarrasch rule and rook and pawn endings, which you might not think is majorly significant, but the thing is, rook and pawn endings are like the most frequent endgame you'll get, and the Tarrasch rule is like one of the most important rules in that sort of ending. Now here, there's check and then check, unfortunately. So he's threatening check. If I play king f8, then there's a check there. If I play king g6, you can still play rook f7, but it's not end of world to lose that pawn. Yeah, it takes d8 check. I'll play for h5, h4 here. If my f pawn lives another day, I'll move it. Okay, it doesn't. Get the king out of the way, or g4, maybe g4. Right here. I don't want to go into this discovered check. But I'm not making progress, am I, exactly here? And he's got rook b6 as well. I can maybe play for g3. Well, occasionally. This check's too much to bear. Okay, he could force this with d8. I thought he'd force that scenario. Let's lock down here. It's just time now. Well played. He played extremely well. Time's a big problem. Oh, there's rook e6 there. Okay. Let's get the king out of harm's way again. Alright, yeah, I think the sack's unsound, and yeah, okay, overestimating stuff there, thanks. Okay, on let's play b3 here. I'm just hoping I'm not going to lose connection before the end of this session again. That'll be terrible. Okay, hi, just checking. BT into that. Alright, okay, we'll go on to another game. Let's go on to another game. I don't wanna, because I've already lost time. Okay, I'll put an extra 10 minutes on this session though. B3 here now. Hi there. Anyone ready on these challenges? Anyone actually ready? Okay, I'll get rid of this non-premier challenge. I'm afraid, Vincent's. There's another non-premier from Gertz. I can't accept those. Right, 5 elephants, 1 elephant, 2 elephants, 3 elephants, 4 elephants, 5 elephants. Okay, aborting. Next. Right, Saget. Chagrati. Let's go there. Let's take her. I think this is okay. Rook f3 to h3 might be good. Sort of Dutch defense attack style. Or a sort of Nimzo-Indian reverse line. There's a Nimzo-Indian reverse line a bit like this where black takes on c3, plays f5, and there's a guy called Nick Foster. He used to play in Blitz a lot. He used to play this, I think, a lot. This kind of stuff. Although d4 might be a concern. What about Queen e1 to d4? Is that a move? Knight a3 to c4 celebrates that. Those double pawns, blockading in front of a double pawn is a bit of fun. Okay, it's cutting across that diagonal. Knight c4 still seems tempting. Knight c4 holds things together a bit. It's stopping my queen h4 here. I'm stopping the use of d2 at the moment. I can't kick the knight from e4. g4 seems a bit rash, but I don't know what else to do. I'll take g5 and queen h4. Okay, take it here. Now there is rook d2 though, and then knight f2, which would be nasty potentially, and there's rook g3 there. And bishop c1 might be a move. I'll lose at e5. Rook b1. There's knight d2. g5. Oh, this looks pretty horrible actually. Yeah, this looks pretty horrible. Rook b1, I think there's knight d2. Bishop c3 doesn't look very appetizing. Might have to play it. If takes. Oh no, it doesn't look very good. I think my pawn structure is worse than his in a way. Equal on pawns? It feels as I'm pawn down or something. Is this knight on e4 is a real pain. I was giving that knight away. I thought it was a torture, that knight. Is this okay? I wonder. My pawn is a rack. My pawn chain is a rack. On the other hand, I'm going to double the rooks. I need rook f2 there. He's going to win a pawn in this ending. I can activate my king. Maybe a4. Okay, he's going to win lots of pawns. I can win a7 and have a passed pawn there. Okay, maybe it's not entirely terrible. King can come over here. A6. Or not A6. A6. Oh, no, he's going to play the check. I think here was better. Oh, does he play the check? No, okay, that's not a problem. Let's lock down pawns over here. Don't want another pass pawn emerging as an issue. Right. Let's get this one ready. E5 coming up. If check, then A8. Can I get to play E5? Although there's no entry for my king. If he plays E5, hang on. Can my king walk to over there? Am I pushing it? If my king walks over there, king E3, it's always E5. I think I accept a draw. I can't see a clear plan, right? There's no clear plan. He's very generous draw offer. I accept. Thank you very much. Yeah, I didn't feel very comfortable there in that game. Okay, thanks very much. Very tough player there. Up and coming. Dangerous killer junior. Okay, Luke Hayden. Okay, Luke Hayden. That was just uncomfortable. Okay. Throughout. Okay, Luke Hayden. Let's try this again. So Queen H4 here seems a bit attacking, although Knight E4 is possible. Maybe trying to maybe C4 is interesting. Okay, I think C4 might be something to think about. Just to say, basically that D5 square is ruled out. If D4 E4, actually there's this maybe. I saw quite a good sci-fi last night, by the way. Start Game 1 or something. Yeah, amazing. Spielberg. Took me back to my Atari 100 days. The cartridges. So Queen G3 on G7. The Atari even had a chess game as well. Atari 100. I don't know if anyone had one of those. Yeah. Oh, it's drying up recently too much on the computers. If I play Rook F4 and double the rooks, Rook F4, double the rooks. Rook F6, maybe Knight G6. I think Rook F4 looks tempting enough. double the rooks on f7. Okay, I can take a chip out here because that queen's hitting. Alright, so I've got this G file out there. Taking that pawn is a bit double-edged, surely, because this G file's a nice road to the king. There's rook G4 here. So king H1, rook G1. Looks like we've got a nice road there to play with. But the bishop is hemmed in for sure. So any action with this bishop, no. I can try and sack this pawn to open up some possibilities of bishop c1, where that rook sack might be handy, although I'm not really that convinced. Actually, more tempting might be h4. Oh, he's giving me this diagonal now. Alright, h4, and okay, rule out bishop c1. h4. Bishop a3, what is it doing there? Bishop a3 might be useful. At the moment, it's a good defensive looking position. Enough defense here. If the bishop's not taking part here, it's not great. Bishop b4 to d2. Right. Bishop b4 to d2. Try and get this bishop to take part. h4 is also, I don't think it really does much. So if I can get the bishop over here, bishop b4, bishop d2. Which means now, right, so bishop g5 just to, oh hang on, rook c2 is looking dangerous. d5 here, ed, queen e, there's a pin on f7, meaning rook g6 could be handy. I think d5 might be the way to go. h2 is sensitive here with rook c2 and the queen conspiring on h2. It's sensitive. Okay, getting this pin now on f7, which opens ways things like rook g6 on rook c2 now. e6, rook e6. Okay. Bishop g5, rook g2. Alright, it seems a bit tricky, this position. I'll go with this because I'm covering. Oh, there's rook e5. There is actually just rook e5. Let's protect this for a moment. Maybe h4. I wouldn't mind taking the queen off for the two rooks. h4 gives my king. Alright, queen f3 here. Oh, we're going around in circles in this game. Rook c6. What about rook c4? It takes queen a, h8, knight f8, e6, opening up the bishop on g7. So let's run that through again. Rook c6, rook c4, rook takes. h3 here then. just want to give my king h2 the possibility of king h2. Rook c6. Okay, bishop d4. The check, king h2. I'll give him my king h2. Okay, e6 is finally. There's rook d4. Rook d4. It takes my queen. On the other hand, there's queen f7 check there. So e6 looks destructive here because it's undermining g6. Rook d4, queen f7, king moves. Rook takes d4. I think e6 then. Right, so queen f7 or ef. I think ef, there's king f8, and then my rook's pinned. So queen f7 to unpin the rook on g4. Alright, can take on d4, there's a check. Winning that rook. Okay. Which means maybe it's better to consider queen g6 or rook g6 without all these checks. Alright, queen g6 then. I can just take that. Right, thanks for the game. Look, yeah, there's some problems for me. My king was a bit airy. Airy, yeah, I had an airy king. It was a bit cold winter for the king. Lorsch. Okay, so hi Lorsch. Five elephants. Okay, one elephant, two elephants. Okay, got a game. Thanks to sit in the fence. Girlfriend is a great year. A couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Sicilians beating all the top super GMs with the Sicilian defense. b5, bishop b7. Okay, I'm taking like this because I'm a bit scared about my king. So b5, bishop b7. With idea b4, is it going to do a knight sack to expose my king in the centre? That's possible. Okay, he's giving me the e5 square, I'll play with that. How scary is this? No, I wonder. So b5 seems plausible. I'll take. This might be the last game. Yeah, but I hope if you enjoyed it, 1 fun, 10 boring. If you want to vote now, that'd be cool. b4, hitting the knight on c3. Queen a5 looks okay. For a moment to prompt b3. I can play bishop d7 here. Try and break through to the white king before e6 drops. So g5, bishop a4. It's all getting it's a little bit scary. For both sides, maybe. A bit scary for both sides. f8 here to try and slow things down. Yeah. On that pin. Now rook f6 seems tempting to me. I could be just getting slaughtered, I don't know. King d8, do I live another day with king d8? Or not? Oh. If I played queen b6 here, I got d7 covered, 1, 2. Is there any other horrible things? If the queens come off, I think I'll sense of relief in some way. Rook f2, knight e6, king c8. Rook f2 seems like an idea. This discovered check, how dangerous is this? Knight e6, king c8, how dangerous is that? That knight, what does it do exactly? I think I'm... okay, there's some possibilities here. I was just visualising if that bishop wasn't blocked, there'd be b3 bishop a3 check. I could realise that dream. Maybe there's bishop g5 here. Oh no, there's a check winning the bishop. Right. Okay, better play something more sensible than that then. With that evidence available, the check. Okay, if I take and get the king out with the firing line somehow, bishop f6. King e7 seems cozy enough. Knight d5 is happening now. Oh, it's bishop g5, hold on. Pin and win. Yeah, I think it might actually be pretty handy, this pin. Yeah. Torch the pin, d5, rook f6. Celebrating the pin. The pin's not going anywhere. That's the lovely thing about pins I've discovered recently. You have very short to long term stuff going on with pins. So tactical and strategical. d5, ed, rook f4. No need to celebrate the pin too quickly. d5, rook f6. d4 here does seem to win a piece. Not just the exchange. Bishop f4 loses back my piece, doesn't it? Which is bishop g6. So therefore, knight takes f4. Okay. Hit this h2, I think. And I'll take that. And rook on the 7th. So The check and the 95 looks pretty good. Rook b2 looks good to try and checkmate potentially. Bishop e3, rook b6, knight c6. Trying to weave a checkmate here. Rook b6, and then knight c6. All right. Okay. Thanks, Lorsh. Yeah, very tactical. Hope you enjoyed this week. Yeah, one fun 10 boring if you want to vote here. Alright, and see you next week then. Check out that sci-fi start game 1 or something. Really cool. Saw that last night. Thanks very much. Happy Easter as well. If you celebrate. Cheers then. Thanks so much.